Well, today is October 1st, and we are sitting here on the banks of the lake that the Chippewa referred to as Gitchigumi, better known to us nowadays as Lake Superior. And it's a very beautiful lake. Lake Superior is the largest of the 5 Great Lakes, and right now it's rather peaceful and tranquil. But like most peaceful and beautiful entities, this lake can be quite dangerous and very violent at times. Usually in November, once the big freeze starts to set in. Today we're going to do some more scouting. Look for some color to shoot. Haven't really had an opportunity to do any of that yet. We've noticed as we've been here in the Porcupine Mountains that some color has begun to set in. The temperatures are beginning to cool off. A cold front is going to be moving through after tomorrow, after the 2nd, Wednesday. And Thursday and Friday it should be significantly cooler and rainy as well. Yesterday, last night rather, set up on the Presque Isle River to take my first exposures while on the trip. And I took 4 exposures with the 4x5 of one of the 2 images that I had selected from the river to shoot. And not really sure they're going to turn out that well. I guess you'd say I was a bit anxious yesterday, making the long drive up here and knowing I had a small window really of the 7 days to capture the images I was hoping to capture. And the conditions with the color were not what we had expected in this area. The winds have been rather high, usually overnight, really high and shaking the camper. Today they call for winds from 10 to 20 miles an hour with winds exceeding in speed up to 30 miles an hour this afternoon, this evening. So I was a little anxious to get a couple exposures in the can. And that's something you don't want to be anxious, you don't want to rush with photography, especially large format photography. So I made a couple mistakes yesterday, and I noticed it right away as I made my log of the shoot and wrote it down in my notebook. The first exposure was on Fuji Velvia 50 f/64 120 millimeter lens. And I had a circular polarizer in to cut the reflection so you could see through the water, the rushing water, to the rock surface below. And I made a mistake. My exposure was about 53 seconds, just under a minute. And I forgot to calculate for reciprocity failure. So it may come out, it may not. It probably won't be optimum. I then set up for a second exposure on Kodak Ektar 100 and did the same thing in my haste of trying to hurry and get the image in the can. I forgot to calculate for reciprocity failure. I then realized what I had done after taking those 2 exposures, that I did not calculate for reciprocity. And so I proceeded to set up with another shot on Velvia 50 and calculate reciprocity failure into it. The trouble is, when I did that, when I took my light meter readings, I then forgot to set my meter back up to ASA 50 instead of 100, which of course didn't give me a long enough exposure once again. I then set up for a second shot on Kodak Ektar 100, being the 4th exposure taken that day, and forgot to calculate for the circular polarizer. So I was batting 1,000 yesterday. Something might come out, it may not. I don't know. We won't know until we get it back and get it developed, but one thing is for certain, I guess I did get that out of my system, get the anxiousness out of my system, and realize that, you know, the elements are at play, and you get a shot, you get a shot. If you don't, you don't. That's what photography is all about. But when it does come out good, all that hard work and effort pay off. So today I'm gonna try to head back over to Presque Isle River and set up for the second of the 2 images I selected to shoot at that point, and really slow it down and make sure I'm methodical and that I make every correct step I can possibly make to give myself the best possible exposure. So yeah, the lesson from yesterday is don't rush it. Don't force the issue. If it's not going to work, it's not going to work. That's photography, and more so large format. Really got to take your time. You got to do it right. Just wasting film otherwise, and money. But you know, the beauty is that we are in nature still. It's gorgeous up here and very peaceful, tranquil. And it's really a privilege to be able to experience this, that's for sure. So. Okay, we're back here at Presque Isle River at Manido Falls. And basically today was a redo of what I shot yesterday. Yesterday, as I mentioned earlier in earlier journal log, I had botched up pretty royally on the shot you see here behind me. I just had a lot of anxiety and basically needed to settle down. But today I came in and approached it a little bit more settled down. I guess I got the sillies out, and I feel a lot better about what I accomplished today. Basically, today I started with the second of the 2 compositions that I had selected from our scouting trip, our first day here in Porcupine Mountains, and there was 2 little pockets just in front of me here that were worn out by the waterfall that are holding water right now, and around them is the rock that has been eroded by the waterfall. And I placed 2 fall color leaves in the larger of the 2 pockets and set them still there, just for an effect, for an artistic effect. So took 2 exposures, both Velvia 50, circular polarizer, f64, hyperfocal was about 6'3", and 2 exposures. The first one was about 88 seconds, and then I took one a little bit later, and that one was 2 minutes and 30 seconds. At that point, I decided to come back over and recompose yesterday's shot, which was the one I botched up so well. But I didn't want to burn a lot of film on this because I had already done a good job of doing that yesterday. So I decided to shoot on Fuji Velvia 100 and hold my two remaining shots of Velvia 50 for tomorrow. So shot one exposure on Velvia 100 at 88 seconds circular polarizer, and I feel a lot better about what was accomplished today. I really took the time, thought about it, slowed down. Also today there wasn't a lot of activity out here. It was kind of amazing. Every day we've been here, there's been just droves and droves of photographers, kind of like at Yellowstone. It seemed like at any given moment there was, 4 to 5 photographers around, but we basically have the place to ourselves right now, and so some of that, I guess that distraction was off as well. I wasn't looking around to see what other folks were doing and what was going on. I was more concentrated on what I was doing, which is what I should have been doing. So getting ready to pack up. Tomorrow we're going to head to a place we scouted out today, a location that's about an hour southeast of here, called Manido Falls. And what we're looking to do is there is a section of the falls, higher falls, that has some color in the trees above it, and the sun is, as it makes its way from east to west, is panning across those trees and reflecting reflection color back into the falls and into the river, just as the cascade comes over the side of one of the upper areas of the falls. So I wanted to save my other 2 shots of Velvia 50 for that, and some Ektar for that. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. Right now, just going to pack up here and head into town and grab some dinner, and then set out tomorrow afternoon to head over to Manido Falls. But again, feel a lot better about what was accomplished today. Won't know for sure until I get the film back from the lab, but better chance today. So, as always, thank you for watching.